Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Osterberg501, and today I want to go over the new massive information we got for Borderlands 3, specifically revolving around the Mailwan Takedown, which is going to be the first takedown of Borderlands 3, and the takedowns are supposed to be raids, and it sounds like that's exactly what it's going to be. And this raid does, or this takedown does also have the first invincible boss, which is raid bosses for Borderlands, so the first raid boss as the end boss in here. Now we also got shown some new items because there will be specific unique items that you can only get in the takedown, which very good. I'm very glad they actually added this. It seems like there's going to be a bunch of different items because we got shown 5 specific items, screenshots of 5 specific items that will be unique to the takedown, which is pretty cool in itself because that's 5, but it sounds like there might even be more, but I'm not exactly certain on that. Now there will be footage in the background of the stream, which is the Borderlands show, and the little like flowers around the edge is something the Borderlands show does. They did something like this in the first one for footage and screenshots and stuff. That's not mine. That's not me putting the edging on it. I have no idea why they add to it. I think it'd look weird, probably more weird for me to like zoom in the screen and take that out. So just take into consideration that's not me that added in that weird border. So we're just going to go over some of the information and then go over the items that were shown. So first off, this is something not with the takedown. There is some other information that was in this live stream or recorded video shown on a live stream. But the only other thing past the takedown that I want to go over is they did say the level cap will be increasing. So they're already planning on doing this. He said not soon, but kind of talked about being soonish. So I would assume probably a few months into 2020 would be my guess as to when we get our level cap increase. So that is coming, and that's very good to hear as well. So some of the just takedown information. So first off, it will be like a big like new area. They said it would take around 30 minutes for like first runs, and it is built around being level 50 and having 4 people, they specifically said. And it will be, you will be able to match make with this if you need other people, but I'm assuming it's still going to be soloable. They did say it was balanced around being level 50 and having 4 people. So don't know exactly how hard that is going to be. Hopefully it's going to be really difficult for solo players. And they did say that 30 minutes was something that would be like a first time run. And once you get more used to it and get builds for it, that is going to be quicker. So 30 minutes for like a first run, possibly longer. You know, just going over, you know, just learning the different bosses and stuff. And if you don't have the correct weapons, you might have to go out and kind of redo it. But they did also say they want it to be easily replayable. So there will be some story stuff and like a mission to do it. But they said they want it to be easily replayable. So something like Circle of Slaughter or something like that. I'm not certain if it was specifically mentioned. I don't think it was specifically mentioned if you had to go to the main menu or not. It sounded like they were saying they wanted you to replay it back to back to back if you want to. So most likely something you just start up and go into, like a Circle of Slaughter, so you don't have to, you know, go to the main menu like boss farming or stuff like that to respawn the boss. There will be multiple bosses. Now what they said is there will be mini bosses and then one end boss, which is really cool. So I'm wondering if these mini bosses are going to be specifically named bosses, because some of the stuff they showed, like they showed one that was on a big platform with 3 decent sized robots. So what I'm thinking this is going to be are the mini bosses per se are going to still be named bosses and are going to be more like our either maybe like side quest bosses, maybe something like Kilovolt or something like that, or still just the size of like or the, I guess, difficulty of like main mission bosses, because the last boss is an invincible, which is a raid boss. So it makes sense for all the mini bosses in this particular content to be the equivalent of like main mission bosses. So either way, that's really good that there's going to be mini bosses up to the last invincible boss. That's very good. There's going to be new enemies. They specifically talked about a new stealth enemy that will be stealth a lot of the time and has some other gameplay mechanics for it. And then the shielding Mailwan dudes If you shoot their shields with elemental damage, at a certain point the shield will shoot that element back to you, or maybe when they throw the shield it does that element to you. Not exactly certain. That's like an augment of one of the existing enemies. It did look like there was different ones, but it might just be enemies we fought before with new abilities, because there was like one of the bigger robots, or one of the medium-sized robots, I guess, something like what is it, that you put the teddy bear in to fight Genevieve, like that size one with a big shield around it. So I'm thinking that's just like the same type of enemies with different abilities on them. I'm not even certain if that was a boss or not. And there's unique loot. We went over that, and we will be going over the specifics of the 5 that we got shown. You know, the last one is, again, like I said, Anointed. The name of the last boss is Wattman, I guess, the Invincible, which it does show on the boss card, because it has, you know, a normal boss card, that it is an Invincible, which is very good. There's also going to be True Vault Hunter mode specific enemies. So they did say there would be different enemies for True Vault Hunter mode, which is very good. True Vault Hunter mode right now really does nothing if you turn on Mayhem 3. Like, there really isn't any difference you can notice. So definitely, you also only need to have defeated the normal campaign on a character, from what I'm understanding. So say like my Flak, I haven't completed the entirety of True Vault Hunter mode on him, and I think I'm only part of the way through. So it sounds like you will be able to just complete the normal campaign, and if you're, you know, level 50, because it's tuned to level 50, you'll be able to just do this probably pretty soon. But it is from Lorelei, which is on Prometheus, so I would assume you would have to have gotten to that point in the main missions on normal. But I'm not exactly certain how that's going to work and everything, but that's something that I guess, you know, we'll have to get to when we get to it. And they did say there would be new heads and skins and one new trophy, which I'm pretty sure they were saying the room decorations, I'm guessing. I'm not exactly certain if that's what they meant, or if they meant like the trophies from like a PS4. But that's pretty much all the specific information I want to go through for this. There will be footage in the background, like I said. And now we can go into the new items. So first off, we actually have an item that's already in the game, but it's a legendary. So it is the Redistributor, which, if you don't know, this also has the same red text and the same special at the bottom, which this is from one of the main missions of the game. And it's basically a Hyperion SMG that every 7th shot is an amp shot, and that chains to everything around it. Now in the campaign, this is a blue weapon. It has the same red text, man's reach exceeds his imagination, and it seems to be pretty similar to how it works. Like, has the same like stat, basically rolls. This has crit damage, weapon damage, increased shield capacity, and just a zoom. It doesn't have extra shots, so it doesn't have any extra pellets or anything like that shown in this. But the one from the campaign is a blue rarity, and also only is shock because you get it from a main mission, or electric, whatever you want to call that element. This one is specifically showing a cryo one, so I'm assuming this is every element, because it wouldn't make sense, or maybe just a few, but it wouldn't make sense for it to just be cryo when the one with the same name and same red text from the campaign that's blue is shock, and it makes more sense since it chains, the special on it chains to targets around it. It wouldn't make sense for it to not be a shock. So at least amount we're getting cryo and shock. I'm assuming this is going to be every element, and this is going to be a really good mobbing weapon. I use this when leveling up and stuff. You do get it early-ish in the campaign, and it was really good whenever I was using it because I use it for both playthroughs. It was really good then, and most likely with this being a new legendary, a new max level item, and with different elements, it's going to be one of the best mobbing weapons. It has a 8.66 fire rate, which I'm pretty sure is the same from the campaign. It shoots decently fast, so that all those 7th shots are going to do a lot of damage and chain to everything. It's going to be amazing for mobbing, especially if you can get every element. It's probably going to be one of the best weapons in the game, most likely. So next we have a new legendary that is the Tig's Boom, and this one rolled in the screenshot a double penetrating shredded Tig's Boom, which this specific one seems absolutely ridiculous. It is a toric weapon, so it does have the the basically sticky bombs with it. And this one is showing fire, so we don't know if there's going to be other elements on this. But it has a 2.94 fire rate, which is decent for a shotgun. It has 153 on this roll times 18, and it does, since it's Torg, get the increased damage for each sticky on it. And I'm wondering, it has 5 rounds of magazine and consumes 2 ammo per shot, so that's 3 rounds for this without any ammo increases or any ammo regen. That is a ridiculous amount of damage increase, because 1 shot is almost going to increase the damage by 40%. A little less than that. What is it? 36%, if I'm doing my math correctly. And that's 1 shot. And we don't know. I'm assuming it's Torg, so it's going to be on reload. So if you could have really high magazines with this, with how much times this is shooting all the sticky pellets, you're going to be able to absolutely destroy stuff with this. I think this could be possibly one of the new boss killers, just because, especially if you're crit swapping, just because of how many sticky projectiles are going to be on the target. Absolutely ridiculous. So this seems like a really good weapon. Fire right now, we'll see if it gets more. Hopefully it does get more elements, but even if it's just fire, this is going to be a really good weapon in my opinion. So they did specifically say also that this takedown is going to be more focused on the new shields that are in it, the new unique shields. And some of them seem cool. So we got to see 3 of these, 3 new shields that they showed. So the first is a snowshoe. It's frozen snowshoe, which makes me think this can be any element. But I'm not exactly certain on that. It could just be just frozen. And the red text is give them the cold Tolder. Yes, I said that correctly. Sliding into enemies drains all shields and deals up to 5,900 bonus cryo damage based on current shield. Strength 30% of Nova damage is returned as health, which is weird. It says you slide an enemy into a cryo damage with this, but then it says 30% of Nova damage returns health. So I guess it's a Nova when you slide into something, I'm assuming. And we don't know what the red text does. If the red text just does what it says at the bottom, then this shield really isn't going to be that great at all. Usually these type of shields aren't very good. Like really none of the Nova shields are that great in the game currently. But if the red text does anything, it could still be a really good shield. They said these are supposed to be some of the strongest shields in the game. So if the red text doesn't do anything, this thing definitely won't be very good at all. But we have no idea what the red text will end up doing. The next one is improved version O.M, which is a decently high capacity shield, 10k, so it's a pretty high one. And it has a specialty that's version .M. The red text is stand and clap, which is what that is. And then this one just rolled 25% max capacity. So it's a really basic shield, but we have no idea what the red text does on this. So we really can't talk about the shield that much. It does have high capacity though. Also, going back to that first shield, looking at it, it doesn't have any other rolls on it. It just has red card, which I guess is the red text. And then all the other stuff, because of the bullet point, I guess is connected. So it is a Nova. And it does have that as frozen heart. So we don't know what red card is. I don't know if anything else has red card as a specific thing, but you know, it could be something different. Then we have the recharge burner, which this is literally them combining 2 shields that are already in the game. This actually seems really cool and something I thought of a build trying to use this before, but the burner in itself right now isn't that great, but this one seems pretty crazy. So this is feeling the burn the red text, which is pretty much just the Novas, but it does 16,700 damage, which is baseline on shield break and fill, and instantly begins recharging shield when broken on a 20-second cooldown, which is the recharger. I'm wondering if recharger is a roll on this. It doesn't seem like it would be a roll on this type of shield. It seems like this is what this is built for. Also, the damage is not an elemental damage, so we have no idea if it can roll that. I'm assuming not, which is probably a good thing, making it a Nova that doesn't have an element, so it does the same damage to everything. I'm pretty sure, I think. Basically, kinetic damage is the same to everything. And then it instantly starts recharging. So on break and fill, you're doing a ton of damage, and it's instantly recharging. You could definitely do some cool Nova builds with this. And I think this will be a pretty strong shield. It doesn't have a lot of capacity, so there is that. But with it instantly recharging every 20 seconds, I think this will be an overall pretty good shield. And I'm very curious to see if we can make some cool Nova builds with this. So that is all the unique items we got to show. I will be having those on the screen as well. Zoomed in so you guys can actually see them. It seems really cool. I'm super excited about this. This is the most excited I've been about any information we've gotten post-launch of Borderlands 3, because this actually seems like a big, cool raid with an invincible boss at the end, unique items in the raid that probably drops from specific stuff in the Takedown. I keep calling it a raid. It's basically the same thing, Takedown raid. So specific drops in the Takedown itself that are only in the Takedown. Pretty much everything about this is good. Everything I can see about the Takedown is absolutely good. Absolutely what all the hardcore players are going to want. So that's pretty much all the information I wanted to go over. There is some other stuff not based on the Takedown that they talked about. It was mostly lore stuff though in the stream. So if you're going to go check that out, just go check on their on Borderlands Twitch or their YouTube channel. You'll be able to see it. But anyway, subscribe if you want to see more Borderlands 3 content. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you think about Borderlands 3 as a whole, what you think about all the information we got on the Takedown, and thanks for watching.